What's
There we
up?
go.
There we go. Man, how you doing, buddy?
Good, man. Good, man. How's it going over there?
Good. Good to be back. My throat is somewhat better, you know.
Good to
Couldn't
have
really
you,
talk on the last podcast. I got to thank my boy Mike for filling in. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
But we want to hear more of you. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. How's things over there up in the Carolinas?
Good. Nothing to complain about. It's very chill up here. Not much going on in South Carolina.
That was a
But-
pretty juicy burger you had the other day. Where was that place at? That was pretty good.
And it's a place that just opened up recently, but my girl just wanted to try a burger place. I was like, all right, we could do that. It's Saturday. So we went to a
Nice.
burger place. It was the burger was good. Everything else was like the fries and everything else was ass. But anyways, let me go ahead and welcome everybody to the show. We are in various of our episodes now, so welcome if you followed us all the way to this one. Thank you for continuing to watch and support and listen and all that stuff. So thank you guys. This is Roly's Retro Room Podcast. I am your host, Roly. That is my co-host, Tony.
What's
and
up?
our producer is under that beautiful image under us, interacting and basically, running the show for us. So we want to thank him and give him a little shout out there. I will have to say though, I am liking what's going on behind you, buddy. Like it has evolved through the episodes.
Have you seen it? It's evolved, my friend. It is, and I got to give credit to my stepson David because he was watching. He was a big fan. He enjoyed it very much, and there was talk of that last episode where I was like, let me have my Batman moment, and it was. So he was like, "Listen, you want to borrow some stuff, and for your retro room?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you know what?" And I told him today, "You know what? Set it up for me. Surprise me. Go ahead, set it up for me. I'll put up the lights and stuff like that. But you set it up." And he set this up. And David, my man, I gotta thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Good
You've
job,
come
David.
clutch, and it looks. I think it looks pretty good. So far,
Yeah.
so good.
I
you
like
know?
the Sega Genesis there, the games. You got some DBZ going on.
Yeah, man.
Got that Game Boy. Got the Batman cups. It just looks raw. Are those vinyls right behind your shoulder?
Yeah, there are vinyls on the bottom and stuff like that. So yeah, all the DBD stuff right here is all his. He's like, "Yo, I'll let you borrow it," and he has my favorite car, the Super from Fast and Furious. He threw that in there. So yeah. I recently got this Game Boy. I saw this on Amazon. I was like, "Yo, this will look great in the podcast." So I was like, "Gotta put that up,"
I think
you
that
said
Game
that.
Boy looks great. So
Yeah.
it's a wonderful
Didn't
setup.
you say that he's like, oh, Rolly's always showing off his stuff?
Yeah,
That's
uh-huh.
right.
And
Yeah,
like it's my background. It's Rolly's retro room.
it is. But it's Broly's retro room with David's stuff, and that's what's
No.
that's what's happening.
He just literally brought you up 20 levels now as far as
That's
background
right.
goes.
That's
So,
right. I mean-
without David, your background sucks.
Yep. Thank you, David. I appreciate it. Look
Good
at my
job,
background
David.
now. Now it looks, now I'm part of a little corner. It's my little. It's not a room, but it's my corner. It's Rolly's
Tony's
retro room.
corner.
Tony's retro corner. And so, but I enjoy
your
it. I think
your retroness and maybe a dime bag.
exactly,
Here's a dime bag of retro info.
exactly. There you go. So, but it looks
So,
good.
buddy,
I think
I will ask. You were last time we spoke. I had just seen Superman, and you finally have now seen Superman.
I
so,
have.
being the Batman guy that you are, and the DC and the film connoisseur that you are, what'd you think?
I loved it. I absolutely loved the movie. I had my feelings going in. I think that I was like, okay, let's see, because like you, I was a huge Man of Steel fan and stuff like that. But you know what? I also know that I really enjoyed Guardians, so I'm like, I had high hopes for it, and I knew James Gunn would probably do a good job with it, and he did. And you're absolutely right, man. Like the fact that we've heard the story 1,000 times, we don't need to hear it. Let's just go into the action, and I think that's what I loved about it. It had a good message behind it. It was top notch. It was superb. And I kind of agree with you with Lex Luthor. He was kind of whiny and yeah, he wasn't. But I had a thought on this because this is my second time seeing it. I saw it with my fiance, and then the second time I saw it with my stepsons, and I was listening. I was looking at it. And the part where he was going into the van where he got arrested and stuff, and you see like a glimmer. I'm like, that's what Roly was talking about. The potential that he could be a good Lex Luthor, because he's like, okay, now I'm no longer. Now I'm getting arrested. Now I'm like, now the real Lex Luthor, I think, is going to come out in like part 2 and stuff like that. So I have high hopes for him. So, but for the most part, I probably give him about 4.5 out of 5.
I have one recommendation for James Gunn.
What's
Get
up?
the same character, film the movie, and then just have Clancy Brown voice it all over. Just give us the OG Lex voice.
That's it. Just give us the OG. I agree. Yeah.
So
for sure.
I just saw a movie this weekend, and I'm a huge fan because of when I grew up of the horror slasher movies that came out in the 90s. Scream, and I Know What You Did Last Summer just came out, the third installment, if you will, continuing the Julie James cycle. Because I believe there's a third one out that came out, but it was like a reboot or something like that. But anyways, so I saw the new I Know What You Did Last Summer, and it was all right. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't great. There's definitely a twist in it. I won't ruin it. But for the most part, the only thing that threw me off, and even mind you, I went to go watch it with my girl and her brother. Her brother is 15 years old, and this movie is essentially it's doing the same thing the first one that it's a teenager. It's driven towards teenagers and stuff like that. So a lot of the movie's dialogue is very, very Gen Z.
Oh.
So Gen Z, yeah, man. It's
Got it.
Like there's a scene where like there's a girl in the car and like she goes to the guy. She goes, "Oh, I'm really digging your vibe. You're very beta, and that's what I go for. This and that." I'm just like, all right. And there's just so much other stuff. Like I know the verbiage and I know the meanings and stuff like that because I've been keeping up, and my brother-in-law and my son and stuff like that. But yeah, it was okay. It's not horrible. If we're doing the ratings and we're doing out of 5, I would give it a solid 3.
Okay.
solid
How are the
3.
legacy characters? The legacy characters in the movie.
So, great, very good. I'll tell you that. The legacy characters, they're implemented and they're vital to the story. And if you are gonna watch it and you haven't seen it yet, when you're hearing this, mid credit scene. I mean, so definitely stay. There is something that comes out after, and that's all I'll say. But overall, it was enjoyable. I'm glad I went to the theater to go watch it. I didn't want to get any spoilers because there's some twists. So
Nice.
I kind of picked up on it very early on, but that's because I'm super over analytical when I watch movies. But yeah, man,
Did you like
that's
it better?
been it.
The first one's still better, I assume.
Oh, I mean, just the first one. To me, I enjoyed the first one because just my experience of watching them, and I was super like obsessed with Jennifer Love Hewitt when she came out. You know, the first stages of any boy crush. You know, you had your Pink Ranger, your Tiffany Amber Thiessen, which is Kelly Kapowski, Topanga, stuff like that. But then when we became teenagers, Jennifer Love Hewitt was the thing, and that was for a good time. She had a chokehold on my obsession as a teenage boy. So
I agree.
Yeah, no,
I agree.
one is great. If I had to rank them, me and my girlfriend had the same thing. We rank them 1, this new one, and then 2.
Okay.
So
That's
1,
not
3,
bad.
2.
Yeah.
So, I will ask you though, since we're talking about movies, have you seen that new Mortal Kombat trailer?
I have. Mortal Kombat 2, as you know, I think it came out this week, right? It came out on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I you know what? Carl Urban as Johnny Cage. What are your thoughts? I mean, I don't know. I kind of like him. I know.
I like Carl Urban. Carl Urban to me is the shit. Anything he's in, I'll watch it. And this is before he was in The Boys. I was, he's just a badass in everything he does.
Yeah.
I am one of those people that's just like I think he's a little too old for the role. And then the crazy thing is, like in the trailer, you see him doing these crazy acrobatics, and it's like, my dude, like, come on, like we're supposed to believe you could get the greatest looker like in the world to be his stunt double, and we're just all gonna be like, come on, like it just. I don't know. I don't know if now. Here's my thing. I don't know if this is Johnny Cage at the end of his career, and that's why he was age appropriate,
Yeah.
or are they trying to pull off Carl Urban being a 30-year-old?
No, I have a feeling. Here's the thing, because I think the pre-trailer came out with that fake trailer of his movie first. I think it came out Monday or Sunday. I can't remember. And then the trailer came out, and then I'm like, oh, okay. So, and I think I told you, I go, maybe they're doing it as he's, an aged middleman, and he's living off the peak of his '90s film career and stuff
He's
like that.
Dark Knight Johnny Cage.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how the trailer starts off. He's in a bar. He's like, yeah, it's, oh, I hear they're going to do a reboot. I like that part of the trailer where it's like, everybody, it's like no one wants to see a reboot, man. And, it's true. It's originality is kind of dying a little bit. But in this sense, it's funny because this is kind of a reboot of our Mortal Kombat movie back in the day. So, I mean, I'm enjoying it. And here's the thing. I'm hoping he's now the lead character because, no, part one, it was okay. It was good. But I just didn't like the lead character. It was like a no name. I'm just like, I don't understand this. I don't know who this guy is. I don't understand why they went this route.
The first one, I wanted to like it so much. I thought everything Scorpion and Sub-Zero in the first one was great, was good. Just I wanted more of that, and it just there was no tournament. Like I'm here watching Mortal Kombat, and there's no tournament. That's what just threw me off. And then okay, this is building up to a tournament. All right, but you could have done all that in like 35 minutes of the movie, build up, and then do a tournament. But whatever. Now we're getting a tournament, so this one is supposed to be what I think most of us were expecting the first one to be.
All right, and I think we'll thoroughly enjoy it. And the test screenings, apparently they're getting like standing ovations and clapping and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, let's see how this is gonna look.
I'm hoping that they did the Sonic thing where they listened to the fans, and they're like, we want tournament, we want characters, we want fatalities, we want just everything, bro. Give me the guy in the corner that pops up and goes toasty.
Yeah, exactly. We want it all from our nostalgia back in the day, and obviously you and I know that will be embedded in our brain, like it's like it goes from the game to the fatalities to the commercial, everything. It's embedded into our brain, bro. It really is. So but I'm excited. I don't know about you. I'm excited. We'll see how it plays out, and we'll see.
I don't know if you purposely knew that we're going to talk about this and you set up the Mortal Kombat thing behind you, or is that just randomly you put that game cartridge there?
No, actually, I didn't put that game there. David did, and he goes, "Do you want a Sega Genesis?" I was like, "Yeah, put it down there." And he's like, "Oh, let me put the Mortal Kombat thing." He wanted to put the Mortal Kombat thing. I'm like, "Perfect." It worked out. So it was like coincidence.
So that's funny because
coincidence.
Like the first thing we're going to talk about today is video games on Sega and Super Nintendo and how they differ. Yeah. And one of the biggest ones was Mortal Kombat.
Absolutely,
So
it was.
Mortal Kombat was one of those games that came out that freaking blew us away, but it was I want to say completely, but there was a lot of differences between them. And I think we've talked about this on previous episodes and just in between us.
Yeah.
The Sega one is superior.
It is. Hands
the
down
Sega one
superior.
is the superior one. Sounds, looks, controlling, like it's just, and the fact. Well, you know what? I think do we have the Mortal Monday commercial?
We do. The Mortal Monday commercial.
Throw that thing up there. Let's see what. Let's go back.
Check this out.
Okay.
Kanji.
So
Bro,
sick.
that
So
commercial, when that commercial came out, it blew everybody's minds, bro. It really did. Like, oh my God. Every now and then I'll go back to watch commercials like that and just be like, look at that thing. Look at that
The
thing.
thing is, remember, we were playing this thing in the arcades.
Yes.
And in the arcades, everyone was lined up to play this thing. I remember when the arcade came out, Street Fighter, was the biggest fighting game there was.
Yep.
But a lot of us were just gravitating to Mortal Kombat because it looks like real people and the blood.
Yes.
So I believe, yeah, it came out on all the systems, and they had Super Nintendo, they had Sega, they probably had some other. I believe there was other systems out at the time that had the game that they came out for, but the main ones were obviously Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. Now, you and I tested this already.
Yes.
Before we talked about this, and so music-wise, and audio, like the Sega Genesis one is almost a direct replicant of the arcade. When you're scrolling down the menu, when you're selecting your fighter, and all that stuff, the Sega Genesis one is the one that's almost like a mirror image of the
arcade one, the one we
one.
used to play where it was lined up for sure.
Right. The other element that Sega Genesis had that made it superior was, you had your Karens back in the day, and that whole legal thing that happened that it was too violent. So the Sega version of it, they're like, I believe the initial release, there is no input system. Yours automatically has blood. I believe that was that first wave of games. If I could be mistaken, but I believe the first wave of games that came out do not require you to enter a code. But then the second wave was like, okay, these people are talking all this stuff and they want to get the game banned and all that stuff. All right, so what we're going to do is, it doesn't initially have the blood, but if you enter the code, when that screen comes on that says it's like some kind of like taboo thing where it's like, at this point in time, if you like enter something, you'll activate something. So you do the code ABACABB.
Yep.
And you'll hear like a noise, something will activate on the screen, and you just activated the blood in the screen.
Yeah.
Whereas Super Nintendo doesn't have that.
We learned that recently, last week, I believe.
Super Nintendo, it's sweat coming off of them. It's like it's white blood sweat just coming out, and it looks so whack. And there's a bunch of fatalities that aren't in the game.
Yes.
So Super Nintendo has a bunch of fatalities that were not included because Nintendo was more, they're more family friendly. Their games were targeted towards like the younger kids and stuff like that. They weren't really marketing to like teens and up.
Right.
And just the fact that a game had blood and these crazy fatalities, they're just like, your version, like I guess they told Midway, your version has to like not have these things included, and the blood has to go on Super Nintendo.
Yeah. Like it's crazy, and I don't think they had the pit either, right, on Super Nintendo.
I don't remember.
There's no way. I mean, I think the only fatality I think was probably identical was the Liu Kang fatality, because it was literally just a upside down kick and a uppercut, and that was it. I think that was the only identical one. But here's the thing: you had tested the Scorpion fatality, did you not?
Yeah.
And
he still takes off his mask. He still does the fire, and the person turns into like bones.
Okay. So that was another identical one. Okay.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine the Sub-Zero one was on there, or the Kano one, which it rips out his heart.
The heart, I don't know. I didn't test them all out because, one, I didn't know that. The only reason why I was able to do that Mortal Kombat to fatality is because you told me how to do it. And I didn't want to look it up.
Block up. Everybody knows it. All us retro kids know that simple fatality. Block up. And I think it's the same for Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
So,
So when it comes to that, to be honest with you, I mean, you'll see as we go, but to me, as I've been researching and looking, and I've played almost all these games, the one that tends to be superior tends to be the Sega Genesis one. You see there, it came out on a bunch of systems. Sega, Super Nintendo, what is that? Sega CD.
Oh wow, I didn't know that it came out.
And then I knew it was on the Game Boy. I never played it on Game Boy. I think by the time this game came out, my Game Boy had taken a dirt nap, and I was playing on Sega. And then eventually I got a Game Gear. I think they might have had Mortal Kombat 2 on Game Gear.
They did. I don't think they had Mortal Kombat 1. I remember having Mortal Kombat 2 on Game Gear. You're right.
Okay.
Sure.
That might be Game Gear. I can't see it clearly, but yeah. And it's just when this thing was released, it was nuts. So the other games that came out on both systems, you had Disney games, you had just a bunch of games, but Aladdin came out on both games.
Aladdin. Yes.
Aladdin was one of my all-time favorite Sega Genesis games. I'm not the only one that shares that sentiment because when I did my research, this is one of the top-selling games on the Sega Genesis.
Really?
Like
I didn't know that.
it's you have your Sonics and then you have Aladdin. Aladdin was
Okay.
like literally it's like I think it's like top 3 of the most sold games on Sega Genesis. So I personally have played both of these games.
Okay.
Recently, I played the Super Nintendo one. I actually never played the Super Nintendo one. I was under the impression that it was the same game across the board. It is 2 completely different games. Levels, look, music, even the way you play it. Now they're both side-scrolling, platforming action games. But
Right.
Sega, you have a sword. You could
Okay.
fight the bad guys with your sword, and you throw apples. And if you look, like we have the image down there,
Yeah.
it just looks crispier.
It
on
does.
Sega Genesis.
It looks flatter on Super Nintendo for some reason. I don't know why.
The Super Nintendo almost looks like you're playing on the NES.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
you're right.
Here's the thing about the Super Nintendo version, which I literally cracked open one of the Super Nintendos for my business, and I have a ton of Aladdin games.
Right.
And I threw it in there. I'm like, all right, let me play this thing. And I was just like, this is not even the same game. It's not. It's nothing. Nothing of it's alike. You don't have a sword at all.
Oh, of course.
All you do is run around, throw apples, and jump. The level layouts are completely different. The music also is completely different. If you grew up playing this one, I could see why you could be a fan of it. If you never experienced the Sega one, okay,
Yeah.
I get it. That you're biased because that's the only one you played. It's not a bad game, but
Right.
if you compare and you play both, I'm sorry, there's no way you're gonna tell me the Super Nintendo one is better than Sega. There's no way.
I mean, just look at it right there and then. I mean, you're right. It's crispier. And you have a sword. You could tell the staunch difference between the both of them. But you're saying it's a completely different game altogether.
Completely different game, gameplay, levels, and everything. And the level of difficulty, it's super easy.
Okay.
Like the Super Nintendo one, it's a flyby. The Sega one, I mean, I did post on my TikTok the other day. I beat it the other day for the first time, mind you, as an adult. Like I didn't beat it as a kid. And it's the game is still like hard. I beat it because I played logic and strategy. When I'm a kid, maybe I didn't have those elements to figure that stuff out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I beat it, but it was still hard. That one, I think I got through like the first 3 levels super quick,
Okay.
and nothing, and it wasn't hard. But I was like, I didn't have time to play the whole game completely.
So I mean, that right there is a clear indication of why Sega Genesis, for us, and we both agree on this, is a superior console. Just the games alone. I mean,
Yeah,
they didn't hold back. And let me ask something. They were both 16-bit.
yeah.
I don't understand why was one flat, or where was the rendering process?
Well,
and all that stuff?
I believe it's 2 different studios made these games. It wasn't the same studio that made the games.
That's so bizarre.
Yeah.
I find that really.
They
it's odd.
licensed it out to 2 different game companies, and they're like, "Yo, you make us an Aladdin game. You make us an Aladdin game. This is for Nintendo. This is for Sega."
Okay. That doesn't make sense to me, but anyways, yeah. But also, there was other games that essentially, like, what were the other games that we had discussed?
So
like,
you had a Lion King as well,
oh, that's
but Lion
right.
King's the exact same game. Now,
Yeah.
see, Lion King is the same game on both systems. There, you're just comparing like graphics and the sound of it, but everything. Lion King is the exact same hard ass game, annoying, starting over, the jumping on the giraffes and the I can't wait to
Right.
be king level and stuff like that. So that one doesn't have this situation, but a lot of people believe that the Super Nintendo version is the superior one because of its look. I haven't tested that out. I gotta give it some time, but just looking there, I
don't know. I can't believe that.
I don't know. I mean, granted, it is 2 different levels,
Yeah.
but I just feel like the Sega one, just basing on this image, the Sega one looks better. But
Yeah.
it is two different levels, it's two different backgrounds. I can't base it on this image alone.
Yeah, I get it. I can understand why, because you mean you got this like contrast in the background, and yeah, and it's two different points in their lives, so I get it. But they're saying that the Super Nintendo version is the better.
I've gone
of the
online
two.
and watched a few videos just in the past, and yeah, what I've heard is that the people prefer the Super Nintendo version, and that's just crazy to me. I always thought to myself, not because I had a Sega, but that the Sega Genesis, like graphic wise,
Right.
was superior to the Super Nintendo.
Wow. Okay. I mean, you would think it'd be Sega, but that makes sense, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I only played it on Sega, so I can't tell you what it would be like on Super Nintendo. I really couldn't.
And
So
I think the other game that we brought up was Jurassic Park.
yes,
Now,
Jurassic
Park is like the Aladdin thing. It's two different games.
Okay.
Two completely different games. I played heavily that Sega Genesis version
Okay.
because we've talked about Jurassic Park several times on here, and that game was just great. Like the movie was great. Everything about Jurassic Park in 1993 was top notch. Everything was great about it.
Yeah.
Now, comparing the games, so the Sega Genesis one is a side-scrolling platformer,
Okay.
but versus the Super Nintendo one is like a 3D adventure. So you have freedom to move all around, and you zap the like dinosaurs and stuff like that.
Okay.
Level of difficulty, I believe the Sega one was harder based on what I've heard.
Okay.
The fact that I rented this thing like 100 times to beat it, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm not trying to say that like I don't want people to think that when I was a kid I sucked at games. I didn't, but these things were hard, bro. Like you had to like plan things. And the one on Sega was very like strategic, where you had to like conserve your ammo, your tranquilizers and stuff like that, because you could get to a part with no tranquilizers and there's two raptors and you're screwed.
Okay.
So,
The Super Nintendo one is more like
You're just
correct me if I'm wrong, like Link, like Zelda type of thing.
yeah,
The-
very very Zelda-ish, where you just walk
Got
around,
it.
you walk around up, down, and all stuff like that. Versus this one, it's kind of like Mario, you're just side-scrolling platformer.
Oh.
But
okay.
what I do like, I think something that gives Sega the element of like that just makes it better, is that the Sega one lets you pick who you could play as. The other one doesn't have that. So
okay.
in Sega, you could play as either Alan,
Alan.
or you could play as the Raptor. Who says Alan?
We're never gonna let that go, bro.
Never.
Alan. We're never.
But yeah, the Sega one, you have a mode where you can play as Alan, or you can play as the Raptor, which I
Okay.
thought that was dope. That was sick.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know. Like that's cool. All right. So like, yeah, I think I remember. I think I always played as Alan. I don't think I ever played as the Raptor. So never played as the Raptor.
I played it a few times, but I never beat it. I beat the Allen story, but I didn't play the Raptor one all the way through. Definitely gonna
Okay.
try that now that we talked about it.
And how hard were those? Like
What?
the Jurassic Park ones? Because I don't think I ever beat it. I think I tried it once and then I was like,
No, it was pretty hard. Again, we're talking about a time where you didn't have like save points, and the amount of lives you have is the amount of lives you have. I think you could get 1-ups if you accumulated stuff, or you could get like extra lives.
yeah.
But outside of that, you had to conserve all your stuff because there was no extra lives, there was no save points or anything like that. So, but
Right.
it was pretty hard. I remember I rented it multiple times, and the last level, you're literally like escaping and jumping around a T-Rex.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, that was it's crazy how different it was. And I assume Jurassic Park also was outsourced to another company. They were two separate companies.
Yeah. I mean, just based on the look, they look like two completely different things.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it's just crazy. And you would think, like, wouldn't it have been cheaper to just, hey, you guys make this one game for both systems, kind of like they did for Lion King.
Yeah. I guess you would think it'd be the same and cheaper, but Nintendo. You know how they were. They were the control freaks. They had to be a certain way.
They were the kings of the castle at that time. King of the castle, king of the
King
castle.
of the castle. Oh yes.
So if you want that certified approval from Nintendo, you want that stamp on your game, these are our rules. Boom.
There you go. That's it, bro.
But yeah, man, that's all we got right now for that. There are a bunch of other games that we'll touch up on those. I off the head right now, like I could tell you, there's another game that I'm thinking about. We'll talk about it another day. But Earthworm Jim definitely was.
Oh my god.
Completely different on both systems. It looked the same, but
sure.
we'll talk about that another time.
For sure.
But yeah, that was that. Those were the two. Those were the video games that came out on both systems, and either they were the same and had subtle differences, or were just two completely different games, but were the same storyline. There was Aladdin, but there's two Aladdins, and Jurassic Park. It's literally the same title, but two completely different games because of the console.
That's crazy. That's crazy, man. And it's crazy that we literally found out about the blood code and all that stuff like last week. That's just nuts to me.
Yeah, I did not know that Super Nintendo didn't have blood, but again, it just literally reminded me how, to me, superior the Sega was.
For sure.
The memes of the week. Yes.
So speaking of memes of the week, we're talking about Lion King, right?
Yep.
So you ran into this one, and I thought this was so funny because it is very true, and I think it should be across the board because there you go.
Yeah.
If you ever beat the Lion King,
I'll read it out to our listeners. So the meme reads. So first of all, this is a segment that we do. It's called the memes of the week, where we're going to give you guys memes that we come across or are sent to us. So this week, the first meme that we have up here is from Lion King, and it reads, "If you've ever beat the Lion King on Sega Genesis," notice how it calls out Sega Genesis, "you should get a permanent tax break." And it shows Simba's about to slap the shit out of Scar.
Yep.
Now, for those, again, we just finished talking about it, but for those who don't know, Lion King is possibly one of the hardest games that ever came out.
Absolutely.
Because the jumping schematics, the way you take hits, at certain age of Simba, you can't really do much. You can't growl or anything like that. So it was a hard-ass game. And your life bar is low. Mm-hmm. Continues are almost non-existent. And you're restarting that game if you die.
Yeah.
If you lose your lives, there's no save point. You're starting over. So
you're going back.
I have not beaten this game, so I do not qualify for the tax break that's being presented here to Congress.
Sorry, I don't qualify either. So,
but yeah, this one definitely hits home because every kid from the '90s played this game, and for those of us who didn't own it, we rented it several times, and to this day, it's like a little stain on my gaming life that I didn't beat this game like I did with the Aladdin. I didn't beat Aladdin; I beat it as an adult. So I'm gonna go back and play it. I actually have. They did a remastered version on the Switch that came with both Aladdin and Lion King. And I had it, and I started playing it with Max about 2.5 years ago, and I got frustrated. I'm like, fuck this. And it gives you the option to restart from your last point and all that stuff like that. But it's that damn fucking. I can't wait to be level where you have to jump on the damn giraffes' heads and shit like that.
Those giraffes, oh my god, those giraffes, freaking giraffes, bro. Like you. Yeah, that's where I think every guy, every girl who was trying to play that game in the 90s got frustrated. That was the one point. It's like, I cannot do this. Like, for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the first meme right there. If you ever beat the Lion King for Sega Genesis, you should get a permanent tax break. Here in the Retro Room, we agree. What's the next one?
American Gladiators. And this one says, I'm going to read it out to the listeners. Even though I am aging millennial, I still think I could dominate the game on American Gladiators.
And the picture's literally two American Gladiators playing two other games.
Yes, so for sure.
Here's the thing about American Gladiators. You watch it on TV, and it looks so easy, so simple.
Of course.
Like, how are these? Because remember, at first, American Gladiators, it was them going against each other.
Yes.
And then it changed to them bringing people from the crowd to play against them. Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously, when it was them going against each other, it's like, man, these are all buff, crazy jacked up. Like, I don't want to go against any of these guys. Again, I think I told you when I saw Dodgeball for the first time, and like, this is Laser,
Sir.
Blazer. The first thing I thought about was
American
American
Gladiators.
Gladiators
For sure.
because of their names and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then you watch this show, and when they go against each other, okay, you root for this person, you're a fan of whoever, blah blah. Then when they started bringing the normies, the regular people, I was just
Yes.
like, wait a minute. So regular people could go on this and go against these guys, and I'm just like, how the fuck are you gonna beat this? You're gonna have like Jeff Coates from accounting with his beer belly and his fucking male pattern baldness go against
these guys.
with his fucking polo shirt and his tucked in jean shorts and his fucking Nike Air Maxes, go against fucking what was the like Taser or whatever the hell their names were
Yeah.
on that pedestal
Nitro.
thing.
Yeah.
Nitro. Go on the platforms with the freaking the things that they will fight with, bro.
Yeah.
No, there's no way. But I'm sure they were given like a heads up. Hey, all right, lose this one. You're gonna lose this one.
Yeah.
And like the guy from the show is like, are you fucking serious, bro?
Oh, I'm sure.
I gotta lose to fucking midlife crisis guy over here. All right, cool. For
I'm
the
sure.
ratings. For the ratings.
I'm sure.
But yeah,
I'm
man.
sure. Yeah, that's definitely one for the books. So
So I have a question. Is
Yeah.
that similar to like Legend of the Hidden Temple and what was the other one? Like
Guts.
right? Is that
I would
does
say
it
probably
kind of
closer to
relate?
Guts.
So this is very, very similar to that. Like the
Yeah.
it's like very obstacle coursey. You got to hit the targets. You got to
Okay,
get on
okay.
the platforms. They did get inspiration from this for those shows. Yeah, for Guts mostly. Legend of the Hidden Temple is a little bit different. Legend of the Hidden Temple is just like completing tasks against
Yeah.
other people in a time form, where Guts and Global Guts is definitely a kids version spinoff of American Gladiators. But man, American Gladiators was that show was when it was on, we were all hooked on it. It essentially looked like wrestlers going at it in this stuff. And when they were on those platforms with those jousting things and they were going at it,
Dude.
bro, that it got extreme. But then you watch it when they're doing it against the real people, and you could tell like they're like not
Yeah.
as into it because they're probably told, yo, you can't like whack the hell out of these guys.
Bro, there were some crazy obstacles. Those rings,
Yeah.
those freaking. I just want to do those rings just so I could fall into nice soft matting. That's all. Just like that. That's all I wanted to do.
The documentary that they had on Netflix that shows you like everything that they went through, everything that they did, all the games,
Yeah.
just and how they would travel. I believe it was a traveling show. They went
was.
to stadiums to do that stuff, and that,
I went
that
to go
was
see
crazy.
one. I
Nice.
saw them. I saw them at the Miami Arena, and
Sick.
And I remember I was sitting over the railing, and Laser and Nitro came out, and we were like, Nitro, woo! And we saw he was like this, and it was definitely a traveling show. So I thought that was pretty cool. I think they were trying to be like wrestling because I was also traveling and stuff like that. I think they were trying to do something similar along that realm. So
Nice. But yeah,
So-
that's the second meme of the week right there. Again, I'll read it for you guys. It says, even though I'm an aging millennial, I still think I could dominate this game on American Gladiators.
And I don't think we can. Here, let's
So our
see.
next meme is,
There we go.
ladies and gentlemen, this man was giving us all fire safety tips in the 90s. Let me read it for the listeners. In the 90s, this man taught us about fire safety, and it's none other than Fire Marshal Bill.
There you
Fire
go.
Marshal Bill was definitely giving us fire safety tips to not kill ourselves, burn ourselves. And the way he would do it, he had a specific phrase that he would say right before he demonstrated it. Do you remember what it was?
Oh my no!
I don't want
Play
to
it for
blow
me.
anybody's eardrums, so let me stand back. He goes, let me show you something. And literally, he will make that face.
Yep.
Oh
they would
my
make-
god, bro! In living color. Funny enough, the last episode that we did, one of the memes. It's funny that a lot of these memes that we get sent to us are very in living color related.
Yeah,
The
for
last
sure.
one we did was the movie critics that hated it.
Yeah.
And now this one is with Jim Carrey as Fire Marshal Bill. But yeah, Fire Marshal Bill in living color, and those skits were ridiculous. And I love when something would blow up, and it would be like a rag doll. It would be like a dummy, and it would just fling across the set, and then he would get up from it.
If you get up from it, and he was completely burned on his
Yeah.
side of his face. Like,
Like
it was
I
so
think
funny.
sitcoms need to bring back the comedy where you throw like a flimsy dummy across the room
Yes.
and have the actor come up for it.
Yes.
That was comedy. Fresh Prince had a similar scene as well.
Yeah,
but,
everybody. I think All Dad had a couple episodes like
oh
that. Like,
yeah,
they
But
just
yeah.
throw a fake dummy. It's just
Amazing.
funnier because you knew it was a dummy. That's why I think it was
yeah,
just funny.
which added to why it was funny.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
So-
but yeah, that's the third meme right there. In the 90s, this man taught us about fire safety, and it's Fire Marshal Bill. Let me show you something.
There it is. And this one is: you still owe Columbia House for 30 CDs you got for 1 cent in 1995. And Jesus is on the
is
pictures.
judging you hard. So that is the fourth meme right there. You still owe Columbia House for those 30 CDs you got for 1 cent in 1995. You scumbag.
My bad.
Now, I did this. I think I did this like 3 times. It's just crazy to me that, like they would. Was this like the honor system? Like that's how it was.
I don't know
can't,
what
I
it
can't
was.
remember how this worked out, but like these people were literally sending you. I can tell you exactly how it worked. At least the one I did. So when I did this, it literally was they send you a pamphlet, it's like a little foldable pamphlet in the mail or whatever.
Yeah.
And essentially, it's not every CD, but there's a big list of CDs that you could choose. So mine was you had to cut them out, and you had like 5 CDs.
Yes, I remember.
It had
You had to
it
like
had
cut them
fi-
out, and paste them or something like that.
Correct. So there, yeah, you like it's like a stamp. You
Yeah.
lick them or get them wet, and then you stick them onto it was like one slot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You put the thing on there, boom, you put it, and then you mail it away with the freaking 12 CDs. My bad. Yeah, I remember that, the 12 CDs.
Yeah.
And then you mail away the thing, and they're gonna send you the CDs. But I believe the obligation was after that, every month you had to like buy 2 to 3 CDs a month or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
So it's so crazy because I did this like 2 or 3 times. To tell you, funny enough, I remember this before, and I was gonna tell you before we started talking about it. But then I'll just say it on here. One of the CDs I got with that list was That Thing You Do soundtrack.
Oh.
The first, like I remember, I couldn't believe it was on there, and I was just like, "Oh crap! I could get the CD of this," and I put it on there. I could tell you basically, I think all the CDs I got. That Thing You Do. I was, again, funny enough, we just talked about it. I was really into Jennifer Love Hewitt. She had music at the time, and I got the Jennifer Love Hewitt CD.
Mm-hmm.
It brought a poster, and I got Kid Rock's album.
Nice.
And some other outside of those, I'll have to look it up. I can't remember if I really think about it, but those 3 are the ones that stick out. I got the Kid Rock, I got the Jennifer Love Hewitt, and then I got the That Thing You Do soundtrack.
Got it. Man, that's yeah, those CDs. Whew. I don't think I ever got 30 CDs. Did you?
The what?
I don't think I ever got 30 CDs. I don't think I finished out. I don't think I finished because you're supposed to get 30 CDs. Throughout. I don't think.
After I got my free CDs, I was done. I didn't do the contractual obligation that I owed to them. I definitely did do it. I was 15 years old.
Yeah. So.
So if I wanted to listen to a CD that I didn't have, I would, at this point, this is right before Napster, I would go to Virgin Records in Sunset Place and listen to the demo wall.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Last meme.
Let's see. Will be. Oh, you got to read this one out.
All right. So for those of you listening, it's the Dawson's Creek cry face meme with Dawson crying. And it reads, I bought the CD because I liked the single. The rest of the album is crap.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And it's crazy that we had to, if you wanted to listen to one particular song that you really liked, a lot of times, and it was forced upon us, a lot of times they wouldn't release the single. They wouldn't release the single of the tape or of the CD.
Yeah.
You had to basically take that whole ass album just for that one song that you wanted. You spend $15 on the CD. I think one of the things that we talked about was the Dangerous Minds soundtrack
Yes.
for Gangster's Paradise.
Yes.
Like, I
And
don't think, and I'm not trying to, talk crap about the movie soundtrack, but that song was the number one song of 1995, if I'm not mistaken, and the only reason why Dangerous Minds soundtrack, and I believe Coolio had it on his album too, that those two albums are even noteworthy are because of Gangster's Paradise. And the
Yes.
crazy, first of all, I'm telling you, like down there in Miami, Power 96 had this thing on the rotation so heavy. Like you could
for sure.
randomly turn on the radio in 1995 after summer, after the movie came out, and Gangster's Paradise within that hour block was going to play.
For sure. No, most definitely. And that's how it was. You bought the CD and the rest of the album was crap. You just enjoyed the single and just like, yeah, I guess so. But I don't know. I guess they wanted you to enjoy other music besides the single or whatever, but here's the thing. I remember they would sell the single on tapes, on cassette tapes, but I
Yeah.
don't remember if they ever sold it on CDs. I mean,
There,
if they
there
did,
were there were CD singles. I remember because
There were, okay.
I used to go to Specs before Virgin was a thing. In Miami, I used to go to Specs, and you had like I think the singles were like $4.99. So
Got
like
it.
you get like for instance before funny enough, I'm going to the Las Vegas show for Backstreet Boys, but
Nice.
before the Millennium album came out, they released I Want It That Way on a single, and you could buy that single of I Want It That Way for $4.99, and on that same single you had the it gave you a preview to like 3 other songs. It wasn't the full song, it just gave you like 30-second clips of 3 other songs that will be on the album.
Well, for vinyl, you can buy singles, and it was cheaper than buying the whole album. Because
Oh, yeah.
when you would buy the single would have, I don't know, 2 tracks, right, or 3 tracks, an A and a B. And you can get that for $5.99. Versus, for example, I bought the first Ludacris album back for the first time, because none of those songs, they released them as singles. So if you wanted to play that, wherever you were DJing at, you needed to buy the whole record because they didn't sell the singles. So you had to pay $25 versus paying $5.99 for whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
So the DJs would use it when they have to like do gigs or something like that, correct?
Right. And then the problem was, like, if you were like a scratch or whatever, you would buy 2 because, one of them you would use to scratch, and, when you scratch on a record, it scratches the record, and the other one you would use for regular long play.
Got it.
Little
Okay.
tidbit there.
Did not know that. Did
Well,
not
yeah.
know that.
So that was memes of the week. Now, our next segment it's kind of bittersweet because great childhood memories here. The nostalgia is so ridiculous with this topic.
It
And
is.
as of 2 days ago, when I found out, I don't know how long this information's been out. PBS, if I'm not mistaken, will no longer be in rotation anymore for future generations.
Yeah, it's I don't know if it's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be on rotation. I know they're losing funding is what they're doing, and I guess with Congress and stuff, because as we know, PBS is public broadcast systems, and
Correct.
they get their funding from Congress and things like that. But yeah, I mean, part of our whole retro childhood, and this goes back to many people, is PBS cartoons and shows, and
Yeah.
and it was a fundamental part of our childhood. It really
Yeah.
is. Like
I actually pulled up a list. I made one of like personal ones and just other noteworthy ones that I know that came a little bit after I was watching the show, but I know my cousins and people were watching. So I think to us, the ones that really stick to our when we were viewing it, the classic automatic Reading Rainbow.
yes.
Reading
Yeah,
Rainbow
I mean,
was, you had LeVar Burton on there, and granted, I knew him on Reading Rainbow and in Star Trek as
Yeah.
LaForge.
yeah.
Sesame Street, obviously, probably their biggest show on there. That's to this day
Yep.
still killing it. a fan favorite for me and my brother. We actually talked about it on that episode that you couldn't be on Carmen San Diego.
Another great show. Loved
Carmen
it.
San Diego.
And then that was an interactive one, right? Like you had to like.
No, that was a
like,
game show.
That was that was a game show. Okay, okay, got it.
And then the iconic Mr. Rogers.
No, who could forget Mr. Rogers?
Mr. Rogers
From the 60s and
And-
70s all the way
yeah,
up to the
man.
90s.
All the way, all the way to like the 2000s. I think the last
Oh, yeah,
episode aired in like the mid 2000s.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, he was on
Everyone's
for decades.
everyone's favorite scientist, Bill Nye the Science Guy.
He was on PBS? I didn't
Yep.
know that. Oh,
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Yeah, he was on PBS.
And
That's
then
awesome.
you have everyone's favorite dinosaur, Barney.
Barney. Yep. You know,
So
that's where we
it's-
learned our colors and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right. And then who could forget sitting down in front of a TV, not having any capabilities of painting, but watching the master at work, putting trees in every fucking corner of every painting, and
Bob
wishing
Ross,
that we
baby.
could just tap that thing, that Bob Ross painting show. Oh my god, dude!
The joy of painting.
Why? Like, and the crazy thing is, the guy was a prophet of some sort, because this guy would just sit there, make these paintings, and they were amazing, and it seemed so easy. It was like breathing to him. He was like, "Oh, we're gonna throw a tree here," and the way he would just like tap the canvas, it's like, "Oh yeah, that's a branch and leaves." Meanwhile, in
Yep.
art, I'm like, "Oh, I'm watching it. And then I'm gonna do the same thing this guy did." Blop. I'm like, you know what, bro? This guy's fucking. This is fake. There's no way.
Yeah.
But anyways,
But he
Bob
made
Ross.
you want to know how to paint. Like he really
oh, absolutely.
Like he's like, "Oh yeah, I can paint. I could paint just like him."
Dude, that he would make lakes, trees, those mountains, like ducks flying, and it's just like a tap here, a slight tap with a swish there. This, I'm like, how are you doing? How it doesn't translate when I do it. I get this blob. It doesn't work. But the guy was
doesn't work.
masterful. It was relaxing.
It was relaxing. His voice
Relaxing.
was just like, "Hello,
We're
everybody."
gonna put
you
some
know,
trees over here, right here,
just like that.
and we're gonna put this water right here. Little ducks can come drink their
We
water.
made a little mistake, but we call them happy accidents, and we'll just make it a bird. How about
We
that?
love happy accidents.
It
all our
just it was
kids are happy
transcending.
accidents.
It really was. It really was. It was. I
But
would
yeah.
say I'm gonna claim it right now. I think Bob Ross was the first ASMR for our generation. It really
We're gonna put
was.
some
But
happy trees over here, and the skyline, and we're gonna make it yellow today.
and of course he ended off. He's like, "You have a wonderful day and God bless." And that's how he ended it. It was just
Yeah.
like edited, like it wasn't like a whisper. You're just like,
I'm sure this guy was drowning in the females. Drowning.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Drowning. This
And-
guy's
and fun tidbit. Did you know his hair was a perm?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody. I learned later on in life that it was a it was a perm. It was fake. He
Yeah.
actually had straight hair, and I'm like,
Straight hair.
and he only did it because he needed to save money on hair products, and it became his iconic look. So yeah,
Mhm.
my favorite one is still when Deadpool did it.
I will say a few more here that I have listed that were after us, but still were very impactful for generations that came after. The Magic School Bus.
Yes.
Absolutely a banger of a show. I didn't watch it directly, but my cousins were super into this. The gangster of all gangsters, Arthur was on there. I was just singing the song right now. You know why I know that theme song? It's not because I sat down and watched Arthur. I was already a teenager when Arthur was on, but they would be playing it in my house, and just through osmosis, I absorbed that song, that theme song, and it would get stuck in my head. And yeah, every once in a while, I'll sit down with my little cousins and I'll watch it with them if I was watching over them. But man, that song was just, it gets stuck in my head. It gets stuck in my head now. But Arthur was one. Wishbone. Who could forget Wishbone?
Yep.
They had a show called Zoom. I don't know what Zoom was. But then here we go with the other ones. The Big Comfy Couch.
Yes. Yes, I remember this.
And then let's not forget the crackhead fever dream that is Teletubbies.
That was before. That was after my time. I didn't watch Teletubbies. That was.
Well, it was on there.
that was way.
Clifford
after
the
my time.
dog.
Yes, that was my time. Yeah, for sure.
So,
But I remember the books too.
Right, yeah, I remember the books. But there was a bunch more shows. But now I'll say, like, I remember just PBS, like it wasn't, again, this was educational stuff. And yeah, it wasn't cool to do, like, to be like educational or watch these things, so maybe you might get made fun of, oh, why are you watching that, this and that, because as a boy, Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, GI Joe, Transformers, that's the stuff that we had to watch. But dude, sometimes you're just like, you know what, bro, I need a break from that stuff, and I want to go down to Sesame Street and hang out with the boys.
For sure.
Or Mr. Rogers, he's gonna take me on a little trip right now, bro. We're gonna like listen to a record. Remember that meme that's going around now where he plays a record and some crazy
So
song.
you can put any song on there and it's some crazy song. It's
Yeah.
gonna be back from our day and it's gonna be like Little John or something like that. But but yeah, but that's essentially what we were watching as kids. It was in our daycare, it was in our school.
Reading Rainbow was so hard. Like that thing went so hard. He would come out, introduce a book, and you're just like, man, what's this book going to be about? The theme song will come on. That theme song got you hyped. And then when they're going into the books, and then it's like a little story. Sometimes it was like almost like a digital book sometimes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That they would actually show the pages and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and kind of tell you the story and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I thought that was so dope. And then Carmen Sandiego. I mean, I can't say enough about Carmen Sandiego. The song, the theme song to that show goes so hard. And they would bring out the Rockefellers and start singing the song. And me and my brother touched up on this in the episode that we did, but we had the computer games and we would play that at home.
I remember the computer games.
And then watching the show, it just made me feel like, bro, if I could kill it in a computer game, I could kill this show. But the Carmen Sandiego show was so fire, so fire.
Yeah, the computer games. That was I think it was one of my very first computer games was Carmen Sandiego. I'll never forget it. It was a floppy disk, and you put it in. And for those who don't know what floppy disk are, look it up.
But man, PBS, when that news, I think when I first heard that news, I literally, funny enough, I went on Instagram right after I got the Google alert that happened. And then the first story I saw was yours. And you had posted that thing about, like, what was it, like Fallen Heroes?
Our heroes,
like that?
our fallen heroes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
it
just,
had Bob Ross, Mr. Rogers, Sesame Street, all the iconic, people for PBS.
it's just crazy to think that there's a possibility that we're going to exist in a world where there is no more PBS, like no more shows like that. So, if you were a huge PBS person, please let us know. Write us in the DMs or in the comments. What was your favorite show? What shows were the ones that had you hooked going to PBS to like get away from the other shows that we were watching? Because PBS was definitely kind of like a little getaway for us.
It really was. It definitely was. Our movie spotlight, my man.
The movie spotlight, and we did one last week. That was the first one, Indian in the Cupboard. Nice little throwback there. And this week, my co-host is going to take it away. What did you decide would be our movie spotlight, Tony?
The movie spotlight, I was watching it, and it's one of my favorite 90s action movie, and I'm sure it's probably one of your favorites as well. And I'm going to put it up here in just a second. And I'm going to put it up here just a second. Here we go. And just hang on, a little happy accident here.
Little happy accident right here.
Little happy accident. And the movie of the week, as we speak, is called Point Break. And it's a wonderful movie of Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze. And it is a wonderful action movie. And it's one of my favorite action movies of the 90s. And there, it doesn't get any better than the 90s, my man.
Absolute. That cover is screaming 90s action. Wave crashing against the rocks, the three guys standing at the bottom, and then you just get these two heads, one turning Keanu Reeves, and then Patrick Swayze with that fluff on his head. Just Farrah Fawcetting all over the place.
Yes. Look at that. Look at that. Look at those locks, bro.
Yeah.
Look at those locks.
But, dude, this movie was badass. And the crazy thing to me is when I saw it, I rock and roll.
Yeah,
I remember when I saw this movie, I was like, wait, is that Ted? Ted's in an action movie? And he's not doing his thing where it's like, oh, I'm Ted Theodore Esquire or whatever the hell.
Yes.
So that blew me away because I was like, oh, this is a huge. He still kind of still sounded like Ted, There was
Yeah, a
there's
little bit. But I
hints
think he was
of
trying to get
Ted.
away from his image a little bit.
Yeah. But that movie, bro, that thing was so badass. The
It
action
really
in it.
was.
Now there are dialogue parts that you could quote that are still iconic to this day, and I mean, they're kind of jokey too. Like his like Keanu Reeves is Utah.
Give me two.
Give me two.
That's right.
There are parts where he executes his lines, and while you're in an action serious movie, they come off so kind of like jokey because of his I want to say his accent or his execution. Like, I am an FBI agent.
Yeah, no, like he just like goes hard, bro. He really goes hard. And who could forget our favorite one?
Vaya con Dios. Bro,
Vaya con
but
Dios.
still iconic. And this right here, if you guys can't correlate the two movies, this right here inspired, I want to say, Fast and the Furious. Because what does he do here? He lets Patrick Swayze, he's like, you know what? I'm not going to take you in. Go surf the big wave that you want to tackle on. And
Right.
that essentially is Paul Walker or Brian O'Connor handing the keys to the Supra to
Yep.
Vin
Pretty
Diesel.
much. Yep. That's pretty much what happened, bro.
But another
And-
iconic scene I can't go out without saying it is when he's just there on the floor. He gets the gun and he just fucking unloads. He just fucking
He just
starts
loads.
blasting. And I was just like, I've done that in Call of Duty out of frustration.
Of course.
I literally pay homage to
I
Johnny
always wanted,
Utah every time.
I always wanted to do like a separate cutscene, like just shoot it myself, where I'll post that, and then I'm eating a meatball sub, kind of like, and then all of a sudden I'm like, and I get shot from one of the flying bullets, and the meatball sub just kind of rolls. That's what I think. I'm like, yo, someone's gonna get shot. That bullet's gonna come down, and someone's gonna get shot eating a meatball sub, bro. But this movie, bro, look at that, just iconic. Just it's, and I want to say this is probably pre John Wick. This is the start of John Wick, in my opinion.
Oh, man,
like-
this is way before anything.
Yeah,
John
I mean, I
Wick-ish
think this is
even
what
kept in.
started his just.
Well, his
his
action
action
bug
movie.
started here because it was this, and then his next action movie, if I'm not mistaken, was Speed.
It was, yeah,
Yeah.
and that's why I
But
think it was.
no,
yeah,
man.
for sure.
Point Break, it's not only like the action as far as like trying to get the robbers, but just like they're extreme sports guys. They're doing the surfing, they're
Adrenaline
doing
junkies. Yeah,
adrenaline junkies. They're doing the surfing, they're doing the skydiving, and he's undercover the whole time. And I believe, oh my god, my brain's like having a fog right now. But like, there's like that's like the first time I think one of the first movies I saw like nudity in.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
you see his chick like.
yeah,
completely
yeah.
naked.
Lori Penny, I think. Lori Petty, yeah, Lori
Mhm.
Petty, yeah, yeah, for sure. And
I was just
you,
like,
you
oh.
said it was a complete inspiration, bro. I saw a video, I think on YouTube. It is almost a blatant copy. Like they did scene comparisons. Like it's just the same thing, the same. Like there's minor little differences. It really is. It was just minor little differences. So, but. Yeah, man, that was I mean, that movie, man. That's
Point Break. If you
Point
have not
Break.
seen Point Break with Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze, there's a new one that they did, a re-release, a reboot, a remat, whatever you want to call it. That thing is absolute garbage. Don't waste your time.
Yeah.
Do not watch that one.
No.
Go back and get the one that was from the 90s with Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves, and I promise you will not have a bad time.
No.
Fuel, testosterone-driven action, total ego. Like, it's just...
It really is.
It's just a badass movie.
Yeah, it really. And let me tell you, the one lines in that movie are just.
Absolutely.
I do know Anthony Kiedis from Red Hot Chili Peppers is in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
He shot his foot. I'll never forget it.
Yeah, they were... The Red Hot Chili Peppers were playing a bunch of these little roles in a bunch of movies because you had Needles in Back to the Future.
Flea playing Needles in Back to the Future. Another fun tidbit: Patrick Swayze was an avid skydiver, and he begged the executive producers, like, "Please, you gotta let me jump one solo, like in the movie," and they wouldn't let him. And finally, at the end, where he's like, I'll never forget it, where the guy's getting shot. He's like, "I'll see you in hell, Johnny." And he gets
jumps
sucked out.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, he's like, I bet you could taste me. You want me so bad you could taste it like acid on your tongue, but not this time. And he jumps out. He's like, adios. He jumps out. That was the scene where he actually jumped out of the airplane. So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was Patrick Swayze. May he rest in peace, man. He was a badass, bro. He really was. Also, I think looking to get away from his, Dirty Dancing days and stuff. So
Yeah, he wanted to be he wanted to be known more than just like a good-looking guy who could dance. He wanted to show his acting chops and also make like action. Like he wanted to be seen as a tough guy. Because I think
sure.
his next hit after this was Ghost.
Mhm.
If I'm thinking timeline wise, his next big hit was Ghost.
was it Ghost first?
No, this came out first and then Ghost. Trust
And
me.
then Ghost,
We
yeah.
watched Ghost a lot in my house. This is one of my mom's favorite movies growing up. So every night before I think I went to sleep for like a good 3 months, I think all right, we're putting Ghost to go to sleep. We live like in an efficiency, so we only had like one room. So like
Yeah.
Okay. So
That'll be-
as
that'll
I'm going
be
to sleep,
the-
I'm hearing that damn song and they're making that damn clay thing.
My. Yeah.
Ghost
But
came
yeah,
out
man.
in 1990, by the way, and then Point Break came out in 91.
Oh,
Okay,
so it is backwards. All right.
Yeah. So Ghost came out, and then he's like, "All right, I got to get away from this."
Yeah, so
from this
that
stuff.
that would help the argument of him wanting to be more rough, tougher in movies.
Yeah,
And
for
then he
sure.
did Tu Wong Fu in
Which totally
1995.
goes back
but
and totally
he-
redeem yourself.
but I gotta give it to him. That was a funny ass movie. Have you ever seen that one? That is a funny movie.
Well, John Leguizamo does a lot of the heavy lifting in that movie.
yes.
and what-
I mean, come on, Wesley Snipes and Patrick Swayze as
And
you know.
is that all right? So that's the thing. You got these two tough guys, and I guess we're gonna have to make this a segment. The next
Yeah.
spotlight's gonna have to be to Wong Fu. Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar. Based on
Yeah.
now that we're talking about it, but yes,
Right.
you got Wesley Snipes and Patrick Swayze, two of at the moment toughest guys in Hollywood, dressed in drag with John Leguizamo.
Yeah, for sure. So that's the movie spotlight of the week. If you haven't seen
Point
it, go
Break.
see the original classic action movie. Utah. Give me two.
And with that being said, we're gonna call it. And we did some good dives today. We did the PBS shows. We did the memes of the week.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. And we did that video game comparison, the Sega and the Super
Which was
Nintendo.
crazy. It was.
Like,
that was.
It's just like, yo, you're gonna come out with the same game, and they're gonna be two completely different games on two systems. That's crazy to me. But
That
again,
was. And looked different too.
Sega was superior, at least to me. That you will not
Always.
tell me at least Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is king on Sega Genesis,
Yeah.
hands down.
Hands down. So,
And if you haven't seen Point Break, go watch Point Break right now.
yes.
Roly's
The
Retro
original.
Room. Roly's Retro Room sent you to go watch Point Break with Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze.
Yeah. So,
But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening, watching, just chilling with us, taking a dive with us to the good old days, back in the days, 90s, 80s, 2000s. We appreciate all your support. If you have any suggestions for segments we could talk about, don't hesitate. Shoot us a DM or send us a message, or you can even type it in the comments, and we'll take it into consideration because, hey, this is not just my retro room. This is everybody's retro room. Let's get the topics going. And with that being said, I am your host, Roly. That is my co-host over there, Tony. And in the spirit of Point Break, we will send you off with a Vaya con Dios.
Vaya con Dios.